fans of the Heartland, and welcome to this week's episode of the Heartland Highlight Reel. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you via recording from the Dave Cave on October the 2nd, 2026, to review an exciting card that took place in Greensboro, North Carolina, just last night, and to give you an update on all of the action in the Filsinger Cup tournaments. Results from the show in Greensboro were exciting. All of these opening round matches from the Filsinger Cup tournaments for 2025. Dusty Rhodes opened the show with a big victory over Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn put up a good showing, but Dusty Rhodes took down Jerry Lynn with a big elbow drop after beating the stuffings out of Lynn on the arena floor. Then we saw an upset. Tony Atlas using his power to overcome the wrestling technical prowess of Frank Gotch. Atlas picking up the victory by way of a bear hug to advance. This was followed by tag team action. Tommy Rich and Tracy Smothers, your newly crowned Atlantic Tag Team Champions, rolled into the Filsinger Cup tournament with a big win over the Vachon brothers, the Butcher and the Mad Dog, with Tommy Rich using the Thez press to get the pinfall on the Butcher and send Tommy and Tracy forward. The Wild-Eyed Southern boys making their presence known in the Filsinger Cup tournament. Ric Flair then took on Paul Orndorff in a beast of a match. Orndorff gave Flair everything he could handle, but could not put the Nature Boy down. And as the match wore on, the Nature Boy, true to form, went to work on the leg of Paul Orndorff and took out Orndorff with the figure 4 leg drop. And in our feature contest tonight, once again, the Thez press made the difference as Lou Thez took down the magnificent one, Don Morocco, with a Thez press. Lots of great back and forth action in that one as Morocco brought the power, but this time it was Thez getting the victory with the eponymous Thez press. All right, so that was your action here tonight in the Heartland. Those matches were on the calendar for October 1st. Actually, it was tonight, October 2nd, when those matches were actually rolled out. Now let's give you an update on the Filsinger Cup tournaments. The first round is complete. We take a look at the singles bracket. This is the top half of the bracket. Earlier this week, we saw Terry Funk on the channel defeating Blackjack Mulligan. And tonight it was Tony Atlas advancing to face Buddy Rogers and Ric Flair advancing to face Jackie Fargo. What a showdown that will be. This the top half of the bracket. In the lower half of the bracket, the remainder of the final 16 are set. Dusty Rhodes, with tonight's victory, moves on to a big showdown against Barry Windham. Texan versus Texan. Babyface versus heel. That will be a sensational matchup. Also tonight, Lou Thez, with his victory, will move on to face Kevin Steen, a recent former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, in that match. And of course, Ed Lewis versus Nick Aldis and Johnny Valentine versus Kurt Angle will complete that lower half of the bracket. As we see, the final 16 are now in place. In the men's tag team division, tonight we saw Tommy Rich and Tracy Smothers get the win, and they will advance to meet the team of Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson. Stan Hansen, of course, still wrestling injured, so that would give a leg up to the Wild-Eyed Southern boys in that one. And also in the right-hand half of the bracket, Bruiser Brody and Jimmy Snuka set to take on the Steiner brothers. Over on the left-hand side of the bracket, the Road Warriors are set for action against Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. And your reigning world heavyweight champions, the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane, with a date against David and Kerry Von Erich upcoming. That will be your quarterfinals in the Filsinger Cup Tag Team bracket. And finally, we bring you the ladies bracket. A total of 7 qualifiers. Jordan Grace, the number 1 seed, gets the first round bye. And this Saturday night on the channel, we will see these 3 first round matches in the Ladies Cup tournament. Jacqueline meeting Mickey James. Masha Slamovich against Christina Von Eerie, and Kelly Klein versus Mischief. 3 great matches coming up to the table this weekend on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. All right, that is it for tonight's Heartland highlight reel. Summary of this week's matches and a preview of the Filsinger Cup tournaments. We will be back on the air Saturday afternoon with action from Heartland Ladies Wrestling with these 3 matches and more. I do plan to hit the airwaves a little earlier on Saturday. The Ohio State Buckeyes have their game at 6:30 Central Time, so I will be hitting the airwaves somewhere between 5 o'clock and 5:30 Central Time so that we can get it done and I can get to the Buckeyes game on time. So we will see you on Saturday from the Dave Cave. And until then, that's our stream, and I am out of here.